Thank you to everyone for taking the time to listen to the thermal energy story, and thank you to the panelists. So thermal energy has a proven track record of strong sustainable growth in the energy efficiency market, and we're going to tell you all about that. Before I can, our lawyers say I have to warn you about forward-looking statements, so consider yourselves warned. So energy efficiency, it's an enormous global market with very strong and strengthening fundamentals. It's getting even better. You can see in this chart here that in the US economy, 67% of the energy used is lost somewhere in the system due to energy inefficiency. That means they're only using 33%. So quite frankly, energy efficiency is the fastest, cheapest, and by far the most significant way to reduce carbon emissions, much more significant than renewables. Our focus is on the industrial thermal energy market, energy efficiency market. And I emphasize thermal because often when people hear about energy efficiency, they think of light bulbs and thermostats. That's the electrical part. So there's electrical and there's thermal. We're focused on the thermal. And why are we focused on the industrial thermal? As you can see in this chart, 51% of the industrial energy used is lost due to inefficiency. That's the first reason. The number two, there's large energy intensive sites. You know, a key customer for us is someone that's spending more than $1 million a year on their site, on their fuel bill. So we can implement big projects. The third reason, 88% of industrial energy use is thermal energy, not electrical. And the industrial market is 2 times larger than the residential and commercial combined. So that's why we focus on it. And we deliver significant customer benefits. We reduce their emissions. We not only reduce their emissions, we also save them money, improve their profitability, and improve their competitiveness. And regardless of where you are in the political spectrum, every government in the world wants to make their domestic industry more competitive, and that's what energy efficiency does. So for thermal energy, the global market for our product is about $250 billion. So we have a long, long way to go and lots of future potential. So as I said, it's a large, rapidly growing market. And as a result of a lot of, you may have heard Build Back Better or green recovery, the fundamentals are improving even more these days because a lot of governments are talking about a Build Back Better approach. So how are we capitalizing on this phenomenal market? So why thermal energy? We design, engineer, and deliver innovative turnkey thermal energy efficiency projects based on and using our unique suite of proprietary products. Those projects usually have paybacks of 2 to 5 years. The projects will last as long as the plant is in operation. So a very compelling internal rate of return for our customers. Basically, it's sustainability that pays for itself. And how are we targeting this robust global market? We have corporate offices, corporate engineering and sales offices in Canada, the United States, and the UK. We have sales offices, that means direct sales force, people on the ground in 7 countries throughout North America and Europe. We've completed hundreds of projects across the globe. We have an extensive list of leading multinational customers. I mean, it really is the who's who, and we do that intentionally. We target those customers because we know they have multiple sites that we can go to around the world. So some of our customers will include the likes of Roche, Pharmaceutical, Cargill, Eastman Chemical, PepsiCo, the National Health Service in the UK, the largest single chain of hospitals in the world. We cover a wide range of industries, and we've got 10 years of successful growth and operations. So we've got proven success and profitability. So to talk a little bit more about our multinational customer base, we have a large base of repeat customers. In fact, 80% of our revenue last year was from repeat orders from our customers, people that know us and trust us to deliver successful projects that reduce emissions. And each of our customers, as I mentioned, has hundreds of sites around the world, so we've only scratched the surface. It's in a wide variety of sectors, but 80% of what we do is in essential non-cyclical sectors like food and beverage, hospitals, and pharmaceutical. And so, as I said, we're delivering real value to our customers with impressive paybacks and compelling internal rates of return for our customers. Along the bottom of the slide there, you see a number of our recent projects, which really just highlights 2 things. Number one, the variety of the sector that we're dealing in. Number 2, the strong payback. So again, it's, the payback of these projects anywhere from 2 to 4 years on a piece of equipment that will last for 30 or 40 years. And second of all, the diversity by geography. So Europe and North America, which is where we're focused. And so to date, We've saved our customers almost $500 million on their fuel bill and almost $5 million in carbon emissions. So making a real impact for our customers. And we are just getting started. There's thousands of sites still to go with our existing customer base, let alone new customers. So we do have a strong, proven growth story, which is unique often in the microcap space. We've been acting on this strategy, the same strategy for the last few years. And it's basically got three pillars. One, leverage our existing high quality customer base. Number two, increase the product portfolio with complementary thermal energy efficiency products. So when we've sold the customer one product, we then can sell them the other product, and then grow our team, which is our engineering capabilities, as well as our sales capabilities and our growing presence. So as an example, in the last few years, we've added 2 people in Germany, we've added somebody in Poland, we've added somebody in the US Gulf Coast, we've added somebody in Latin America. And we want to do all of these things, and we have been doing all of these things both organically and through accretive acquisitions. So we have grown, invested fairly significantly over the last few years. And as a result, you go back to 2018, 2019, there was about $1.5 million in expenses that weren't generating results yet. That's people, usually salespeople or engineers that take a while to train. But I wanted to highlight our historical growth. And I stopped at February 2020, which was our third quarter. The obvious reason was that was the start of the global pandemic. But you can see up to that point, we had a 5-year, 31% compound annual growth rate on revenue and 50 to 60% compound annual growth rate on EBITDA and net income. We generated almost $3 million in EBITDA for the 12 months ending February 29th and almost $2 million in net income. So very profitable, cash positive growth. But then, of course, as everybody knows, there was the global pandemic, and it did have a temporary impact on us. What we do, we pride ourselves in providing best-in-class product and service to our customers. So a lot of these turnkey projects that we do and equipment that we ship requires us to go on site and customize the application and install the product. So obviously, when there was travel restrictions and site lockdowns, everything stopped for a few months. People didn't know how to deal with the global pandemic, so the first thing they did is stop. Let's just stop. And that's basically what happened in March, April, May, and in June. But our cash and working capital positions remain strong, very strong, almost $5 million in cash and $4 million in working capital. And even with the slowdown, our long-term growth rates remain pretty impressive, even with the temporary impact that the COVID-19 had. But the good news is, sort of since June, we've seen a strong rebound in activity and orders. Quite frankly, people have understood how to deal with COVID. They realize business is essential. They realize, obviously food, pharmaceuticals, that's essentials. They have to figure out how to deal with it. So our activity resumed. We were allowed back on customer sites with the proper precautions, of course, you have to mitigate. But you can see that for the first 6 months of this fiscal year, that is from June 1st to November 30th, our orders are up about 74% compared to the previous year. So very strong. So really, it's this build back better approach, as well as some pent up demand, where our customers are trying to catch up for what they lost the previous months, has resulted in a strong order rebound since June. So that looks very positive. We're back on track to continue the strong track record growth that we've had for the last several years. So just to sum up, we're in a fast growing global market with exceptionally strong fundamentals that are getting better with the build back better approach that we're seeing in virtually every country, a major industrialized country around the world. We have a growing portfolio of proprietary products. We sell to a leading group of multinational customers across a whole host of sectors, but with a focus mostly on food and beverage, pharmaceutical, and hospitals, representing sort of 75 to 80%. And we have a successful and profitable business model with a proven track record of growth. So, our current recent price that closed on Friday at 11 cents, but the 52-week range is 5 cents to 15 cents. That gives us a market cap of 17.6 million and an enterprise value of a little bit less than that because we have net cash on the balance sheet. But you look at the multiples, pre-COVID, we were at 0.7 times enterprise value to revenue, less than 6 times enterprise value to EBITDA, and about 10 times PE multiple. Obviously, the COVID has a temporary hit on that, but the valuations still are pretty compelling from my standpoint. And with a strong rebound in our orders, we're back on track Right now, our current valuation doesn't reflect our proven performance or our potential market. So strong growth story with a compelling valuation.